What's up everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to be talking about the Switch 2. We'll call this video the good, the bad and the ugly because there's some good, there's some bad and there's some downright disgusting. But stick around to the end because the disgusting is probably not what you think from my perspective anyway. So we'll start off with the positive stuff, shall we? I think Nintendo have gone down the right route for once. I'm glad they haven't done too many gimmicks. I know some of you are like, oh, I want my gimmicks. I want something really weird that I'll never use again. Me, I just want a Nintendo. I want a more powerful Nintendo. I want one that works with my 4K 120Hz TV. And they gave me it. Thank you very much, Nintendo. I appreciate that. That's what we want at the end of the day. We want our games to look good and play well. And that's it. More importantly, play well, and that's what Nintendo focus on. So, really excited about that. Packing games, we've got obviously Mario Kart World, which looks amazing. I've watched the Nintendo Direct about 3 or 4 times now, which is quite unusual for me. I just sort of skim over it usually and think, yeah, I like that, and I'll look forward to playing it. But this one, I'm actually genuinely quite excited about it. I think more so because it's a launch game as well. It's a new system. You had that added excitement. But it looks really good. I mean, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I definitely got my money out of that one. And I played that loads and loads. And we'll touch on that a little bit later because I wanted to cover why I think the $80 or £75 is actually worth it. So I'm in a different camp to most people at this moment in time, or at least the loud, obnoxious little shits online, which are making a lot of noise. But anyway, and then another, what I would class as a launch game, I know it comes out about a month after launch, but it's in the launch window, is Donkey Kong Bonanza as well. And that looks awesome. Now, of course, for me, I would only class it as 2 games on launch. I know there's many, many more. There's many, many more games, but a lot of them are re-releases. Or games that have been out on other systems as well. So coming out for the first time on the Switch, but they don't excite me as much. I have ordered a number of different things. I'll go over my pre-orders in a second as well, so you know what I'm getting. But yeah, I'm generally quite happy about it. I like where they're going. I like the fact they've got no gimmicks. I like the fact that they've got a decent online chat. Well, I say decent. They've got an online chat. We'll see what it's like once we get it in our hands. I have ordered the camera, although I think that'll be a gimmick and I'll probably only use it once, but we shall see on that one. We'll go through positivity stuff still. What I've purchased, what I've bought for day one, what I've pre-ordered. I've actually managed to get a pre-order. Obviously in the UK we were able to do that a little bit earlier because we're not having these additional tariff charges that you have. So there was no pause for us. So I managed to pick up a Switch 2 console. I went for the standard pack because I wanted to get a physical copy of Mario Kart World, which I did. I ordered both the remakes of the Zeldas, which I'll just sell my other ones, which I already own at the moment, because I want to have the physical copies of those. I ordered 2 Pro controllers, screen protector, their sort of deluxe carrier case, because I'm actually taking this away to visit some family in Germany in a few months' time, so I want to be taking that in style. What else did I order? The camera. I don't know if I mentioned the camera as well, but that's about it. Very big pre-order day. I think I've probably spent, it's got to be close to £900. So, you know, I spent a lot of money. It is a lot of money. But when I think about it this way, that for me is going to be 8 years of entertainment for myself and my son. My son is 2, nearly 3 years old, so this is definitely going to be his first console that he's getting into, which is really, really cool for me because I get to sort of live vicariously through him and see him get excited about Mario and those characters and just sort of remember what it was like for me back then when things used to be magical and exciting, and Nintendo is the best for doing that, certainly for children anyway, and grown children like myself. So there's the positivity stuff. I will be doing a video on release date, where I'm going to go and pick it up with a mate of mine. We're going in the morning. We're going to be there first thing. We're picking them up from in-store. We didn't order them online, so we'll be doing an unboxing, first thoughts from both of us, setting up on the system, bit of a comparison with the Switch 1, and some real-life thoughts. No Nintendo shills here. We are going to be giving our honest thoughts on what we think about it in the real world, what the chat's like, some of the stuff that actually hasn't been covered in Nintendo Directs or by anyone thus far. So if you like the sound of that, drop a sub, and I'll see you on launch day, probably in the evening. I'll get that posted. Anyway, so let's look at some of the bad stuff. And this, when I say bad, it's the stuff that I personally don't like. I'm not a big fan of the re-releasing of previous games, and I'm hoping Nintendo don't do that. Now, I kind of weirdly appreciated it on the Switch 2 because I missed out on a lot of games of the Wii U. I bought it very early on, got rid of it very early on because it was just so slow and there was just nothing coming out. And there were some really decent games on it, and I missed some of them. And it was great to see those re-released in deluxe formats, you know, higher resolution, looking a little bit better, running a little bit better on the Switch. That was great. But I don't want that to happen again. And I think what they really need to do is have more games which are just updated natively. Now, it's quite easy for them to do that because the games are emulated. And from what I hear, a lot of the games are just going to be updated for free. What we are paying for is the additional content. Now, I don't mind that per se, and some of them that I will buy, but I just don't want to see the regurgitating of games again and again and again just to fill things in. Don't want to see that, and it looks like they might be going down that way. You know, we've got 3 games announced already which are getting re-released at a higher price with small DLCs in, or, you know, quality of life improvements like they are in Zeldas. Now, the only reason I'm buying the Zeldas, and I bought both of those, is because they're some of my favourite games of all time, and I just want to have the best versions possible and keep them physical. So yeah, I'm a sucker. I'm feeding their bad business tactics here. I do know that. I do appreciate that. But still, for me, it's going to be worth it. So I just want to address now some of I've made some notes over here. So I want to address some of the issues that people have been bringing up online, which kind of does my head in a little bit. So every time I look online at the moment, whether it's some of the gaming groups that I'm in, or if I'm having a look on Reddit, it's just people saying, drop the price, oh, that's too expensive, I'm never going to buy it. Meh. Just moaning little bitches, honestly. And it does my head in. The negativity is ridiculous. People need to get out more. Get a girlfriend, get a job, have a beer, get some fresh air, do something decent with your life. If you're getting that worked up about a $10 increase, things go up in price. Now, I want to look at things and the pricing at face value. So at face value, yes, they have gone up. But if you look into things, if you look into the way the markets are at the moment, and you look into just general life, everything's going up. It sucks, I know. Everything's going up. You're probably losing money each year because inflation is terrible and salaries aren't keeping up. That's just the way of life at the moment, unfortunately. Things will level out, hopefully, at some point. But for now, got to put our big boy pants on and just deal with it. You know, when I think about, you know, some of the times when I was really into gaming, when I was a lot younger, so we're going at 1996 now, when I got my N64. Now, N64 was probably my second proper console. I had a Game Gear, had a Mega Drive, but the N64, the Mega Drive I'd class as my first proper console because the Game Gear was a handheld. So the N64, probably my second proper console. I had a 32X, that doesn't count either. But I think when I was getting the games then, I had no idea how much they cost. But when I looked back nowadays and what they were retailing at, I mean, my dad bought me about 13 games, and they were about £70 each back then. Now, in today's money, right, if you just do an inflation calculator, in today's money, that is £138.43 for ISS on the 64. And I looked into ISS because I remember that being 70 quid in my head. And there were a fluctuation in prices on the N64 as well. People are sort of talking about the fluctuation in prices being a new thing, but people need to, you know, open up their memory banks and think about what things were back then as well. Now, at the time, the N64 wanted to compete with the PlayStation. They were going to release the console at $250, but I believe they released it at $200 and £200. So I'm going to talk about pounds because I'm in the UK, but you can do the same thing online if you want. Have a look at a conversion calculator. put in the dates when things came out, and it will give you what the price would be back then. So, £200 in today's money for an N64 would have been £480. So theoretically, we're getting the console for £80 cheaper than it was in 1996, which is fantastic, right? Because it does a lot more than the N64. And when you think about the games as well, people are moaning about Mario Kart saying, oh, it doesn't have enough in it. Oh, how can you charge $80 for this? Fucking moaning little shits, honestly. Think about what it's got in it. Mario Kart 8, right? When it first came out on the Wii U, about 13 years ago or whatever, that was £50. In today's money, shaking my thing all over the place, it is £81. So we're getting it £1 cheaper, and there's more content in it. And you've just got to appreciate nowadays games just take so much longer to make. There's so much more money involved. There's more developers involved. The development life cycle's longer. It's much harder to make games nowadays as well. So, you know, I think, although it sucks that things have gone up, it's kind of worth it. If you think you go to the cinema nowadays, right, for two people watching a movie, having a bit of popcorn, it's going to cost you £50, at least in the UK. £50. You're watching an hour and a half film, it could be crap, you never get to watch it again. You know, that money's gone. You know, I think the best way to get around this for people that are moaning about it or are upset about it, make sure you buy physical. Because by buying physical, you are keeping the value. You know, I can still sell, if I want to sell Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online at the moment, I'll probably get £40 for it online. And yet, it cost me £60 7 years ago. And so I've got 7 years of fun for actually the cost of 20 quid. So when I sell Mario Kart 8, I might get £40 for it. Which is, you know, if you get physical, honestly. That's the way forward. Yeah, it sucks. £80 for a digital game that you'll never own is shit. They shouldn't be doing that. And I I'm not on the digital bandwagon at all. I think digital's great when it works well and they do it well, like they do on Steam. I think Steam is really the only platform that does digital well. And I do like what Microsoft are doing with Game Pass. The subscription service, where they refresh it all the time, doesn't feel too bad, to be honest. Where I don't like it is where they charge a lot of money for something that you'll never ever own. They can adjust it, you know? They can say, all right, $80 for a physical game, but $50 or $60 for a digital game. But you don't own the digital game. So I prefer them to do it that way. But I think the way that they're thinking things as well is, you know, you can buy that game and you can lend it to people as well as a physical cartridge. So even if it's done digitally. So there is that plus point. They are trying. You know, I think there's been a few missteps in regards to how they've sort of marketed things. I think they could have improved on that. But for the whole, I think they've done really well. I think people need to stop whining and suck it up. You know, there's worse things in life to worry about, quite honestly. But anyway, it'd be good to know your thoughts. It'd be good to know whether you're in the sort of negative ninny bunch. Let us know what you want to moan about down below. Or, like me, whether you're actually quite positive about it, whether you're looking forward to the system. Let us know in the comments down below. If you like the video, drop a subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.